This clip is sponsored by Wash and Go, and that can only mean one thing. That's right, I'm surrounded by a sea of green. By now you should know that Wash and Go is the best way to look after your luscious locks. I mean, look at what it's done for mine. Fantastic. But you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at some of the 600 plus unreal reviews on their Amazon page. Linda from the United Kingdom says, well, it smells lush and leaves hair smelling fresh. Fantastic, Linda. Kindle customer JSB says, product arrived as advertised. Always very important. Always important to know that, Kindle customer JSB. And finally, my personal favourite, it's shampoo and it works for me. Absolutely fantastic there from Casey. It is indeed shampoo and also a conditioner. If you want to get your Wash and Go today, then hit the link in the description and get your bottle sent to you today. And remember, it's a shampoo and it works for me. Enjoy letting us know about that. Right, let me just get the team I want to pick back. So this is my team that I would go with against Manchester City. Let me just reset that there. Make sure you smash the like on video. Okay, United isn't even good at social media either. Social media kings would get pints with and post it everywhere, says Butterpants. Let's be honest, Elanga deserves to play more than most of these other players. We'll be up for it against City. Rashford nowhere near for me, says Aram. Okay, so look, let's get into the start. Let's get into the actual preview. This is a massive game for Manchester City. They're in a title race. They can't afford to slip up. Liverpool are playing West Ham. I'd expect Liverpool to win that. Manchester City have got Manchester United. They can't afford. They're 3 points ahead of. I think they're 3 points ahead of Liverpool, and Liverpool have got to play them. So they can't afford any slip-ups. They need to win this game. I don't think Man City were fantastic against Everton last week, and obviously they lost to Spurs the week before, so we might be catching them at the right sort of time. They have lost 2 games at home this season, Manchester City, but they are averaging 2 goals every home game. So they're going to score at the weekend, which means we're going to have to score, and we're going to have to figure our way out how to do that. Obviously, from our side of things, we know that if we draw against Man City at the weekend and Arsenal beat Watford, we'll be level on points and they'll have 3 games in hand, which is a horrible situation. So even a draw, which I think is a good result, could leave us in a bad position because of the previous bad results. How do you beat a side like Manchester City, who are like Liverpool on a different level to us? Now, obviously, people are talking about a really hard March. We aren't playing Liverpool in March anymore. We've got Man City on Sunday, we've got Spurs the following Saturday, then we've got Atletico Madrid, and then we were meant to be playing Liverpool, but that's been postponed because Liverpool won last night in the FA Cup. So that's been rescheduled and won't be happening. So we've actually got 2 Premier League games in March, Man City and Spurs. Ideally, we take 6 points. Necessity, I think we need to take 4, which means we need a result at Manchester City at the weekend. And to do that, you can't go into this game thinking you're going to beat them by going toe-to-toe with them. They are better than us. They have a better system than us. And they are better at pressing than us. They're better at passing than us. So how do we beat them? Well, we beat them by playing a team that's going to deprive them of chances. And the way to do that is to play tight. Probably deep. He'll probably bring Maguire back in, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't bring Maguire back in. I'd play Lindelof because what you want... All right, Harry Maguire plays well against the deep line, in a deep line, but Harry Maguire is also very tall and has a noise when he turns like a bus. And we need people who can move quick. And Lindelof is more agile than Maguire, so I would play that. Because what's Man City's team? Small, centre of gravity, agile. The Bernardo Silvas, the Jesuses, the Sterlings. They're going to pass and move. So I would play Lindelof, obviously Varane. Luke Shaw, I think, is the better left-back at the moment. And I think he'll go with Wan-Bissaka because of his defensive capabilities. You've got to play McTominay and Fred. We did the video yesterday, McTominay versus Fred. I'd probably rather play Matic, but you've got to play Fred. Look at the ball recoveries of Fred. He's probably the best player in our midfield for that. His tenacity, his low centre of gravity. Fred is essential in a game like this. You cannot play a midfield 3 of Bruno, Pogba and McTominay. We'll get annihilated. One thing I would say about Manchester United is that we lack defensive discipline. When we haven't got the ball, we lack defensive discipline. And whether that's from the wide players, whether it's from Bruno and Pogba, we lack that. You've got to have defensive discipline against Man City because they're going to have so much of the ball. They move the ball around a lot. Also, Manchester United lack... I think the 2 things Manchester United lack, and Hasselholt spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, defensive discipline's not there, and, you know, they're weak-minded, effectively. And they're two things that we cannot be against Manchester City. We can't be lax defensively, and we can't be weak-minded. We've got to be focused, we've got to play for each other, and we've got to do it for 90 minutes. And only then can we get a result. So Fred's got to play in the midfield. Fred and McTominay, Fred and Matic, I don't care. They've got to play. And I'd put Pogba in there. I'd put Pogba in there because he's more used to being a defensive midfielder than Bruno Fernandes is. So that would be my 3. So therefore, you're either dropping Bruno or you're dropping Ronaldo. On the wide, I think Sancho's got to play. You know, he might be a perfect game for Sancho. Point to prove against Pep. I'd play him. If you drop Ronaldo, shouldn't Bruno be getting dropped based on the last games, says Arjun? Well, we're going to come to that now. Ronaldo is 37, shouldn't be playing every minute of every game anyway, says Missa. So yes, I would go with Sancho, definitely. And then on the right-hand side, I personally agree it should be Elanga. But I'm going with the team that I think Rangnick's going to pick. And I think he will start Rashford. For all the wrong reasons, probably. He's more experienced. He's done well traditionally against Manchester City. He's from Manchester. He knows what it's all about. He's a youth player. All the things that are wrong. All the things that are wrong about Manchester United. Because ultimately, the reason it's wrong, there's nothing wrong with him being experienced. There's nothing wrong with him being from Manchester. There's nothing wrong from him traditionally doing well in Manchester derbies. But ultimately, it comes down to form. We may as well pick Maguire over Lindelof because he's the captain then. It comes down to form. I would go with Elanga on the right-hand side, but I think he deserves to start in a game like this. Off the bench, hopefully he can cause some damage, but I think he'll start him. And then it comes down to the biggest position for me. It's whether you go with Bruno in a false 9 or you go with Ronaldo. And I think you've got to go with Bruno. I take no pleasure in dropping Ronaldo for this game. And I don't even think I'm dropping him, really, although I always say if you take a player out, you are technically dropping them. It's more of a tactical thing. We are not going to attack Manchester City in the way that we might hope to attack a Spurs in the following week at Old Trafford. They're going to have a lot of the ball, and we're going to have to pack that midfield. And ultimately, Bruno isn't a 9 in this system. He becomes part of a midfield 4. It's like Donny last week was apparently playing as an attacking midfielder behind the striker. He wasn't really. It was a midfield 3 because they hardly had the ball. And that's what you need from Bruno. We need a midfield 4. So I would play Bruno as the false 9 to drop in. And, he's got the energy to push. His press is reasonable. So I would go with Bruno and I'd put Ronaldo to the bench. And I'm not dropping Ronaldo because I think he's finished. I'm not dropping Ronaldo because I think that we need to sell him or anything like that. I'm putting Ronaldo on the bench because I want to get a result against Manchester City, and I feel that the chances of us getting a result against Manchester City are far better if we pack that midfield and use the width to attack them. Ultimately we might win this game 1-0 if we can keep a clean sheet and we score from a set piece, or we catch them on the break. We've done it before. Ollie did it, so we can do it. It's a Manchester derby, and they lost to Spurs a couple of weeks ago. I'm actually predicting that we'll get a good result. There's no logic to it, and I'm not expecting to get clipped for that because I'm not saying it with my chest. I'm just saying I'm anticipating we're going to get a good result. And a draw would be a good result, even though it's not a good result if Arsenal beat Watford. But what do we expect going to Manchester City? They're the Premier League holders. They're way better than us. In a combined 11, they're getting every player in the team. We are big underdogs in this game. If we can go there and get a draw, as much as I want to go there and win, it's still a good result. And I think you've got to try, if you're Ralph Rangnick, to get the result. Do I think he'll drop Ronaldo? Actually, I don't think he will. I don't think he will, because I think that if you buy Cristiano Ronaldo and you're paying him £500,000 and you don't play him in a Manchester derby, that's too logically about the football. And Manchester United, as I've said before, Instagram, social media, Twitter FC, whatever you want to call it, they're not going to be happy about Cristiano Ronaldo not playing. I don't know how our fan base would receive it. I don't know how the media would receive it. I don't know how Sir Alex would receive it. Remember when Ollie did it against Everton? Some people would say you don't drop Cristiano Ronaldo in a big game like this, and I would normally subscribe to that, but I don't think we've got the team to accommodate Ronaldo. I'm not even putting Ronaldo on the bench because I think he's crap. I'm putting Ronaldo on the bench because I don't think that team can accommodate him, because I think it's got too much work to do elsewhere that we've got to be defensive with. I don't like the fact that we've got to play Fred and McTominay, for example, but that's why Ronaldo has to go on the bench for me, because we have got to play Fred and McTominay because we've got to... Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video, because we all know only legends like videos, and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video, and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, as always.